Shalom. Welcome once again to Journey to the Kingdom Ministry. I am Brother Yawson, coming to you again with another message, another lesson. Today's lesson, getting right into it, as you can see by the title, is who is this? Who is this? Or who are these people? Speaking present day, who are these people? And we are talking about none other than one of the most referred to scriptures in the Bible as far as helping to identify or helping to wake up the true Israel, the true Israelites, the true bloodline descendants as mentioned in the Bible. We're talking about Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, Deuteronomy 28, yes. As a lot of us has been called to refer to it as the Old Testament, and also a testament to it being called the Old Testament is a lot of us were also told that it was done away with. But as a testament to the Old Testament not being done away with, and or the misleading teachings of it being done away with, we're going to cover it today. And just like we've done in a few other previous lessons, we're going to show what's in there that they didn't want you to know. They're going to show what's in there. Not only did they not want Israel to know, and the 12 tribes or the descendants of the 12 tribes to know, they didn't want the whole world to know this, which will be revealed in the time of Revelations, and as in the book of Revelation, but we're not getting into that today. But it's a lot of stuff in the Old Testament that they don't want you to know, they don't want me to know, they don't want the world to know. So one of those things being the identity of Yahuwah's true chosen bloodline people. So we're going to go ahead and get into the teaching, go ahead and get into the reading. Got quite a few references in here I'll be making today. Few pictures to show, a few slides from previous messages and things of that nature. Some of the pictures may be a little graphic. It's not to stir negative emotion. It's not to invoke hatred toward any people or any people group. The main reason for exposing or showing or sharing these images is to help wake up the true descendants of Israel, the true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the true chosen people of Yahuwah. We tend to get caught up in everyday life. We tend to get caught up in the rat race, if you will, and all of the things that we have to deal with on a daily basis, just trying to maneuver through this life and through this world. And we tend to become numb to facts, actual history, things that we may or may have not been taught in school. Everybody's situation is different. Things that we may or may have not been taught in our homes and our families. Everybody's situation is different. And things we may or may not have been taught in our religious groups, churches, or whatever. Everybody's situation is different. But we know by far and large in Christianity, a lot of this is not taught. Just as previously mentioned in this video, as well as others, the Old Testament in Christianity is considered to be something that's done away with. So it is taught and preached and looked at as something that is, in Christianity, it's looked at as something that is no longer relevant. It's kind of funny. When it comes to paying tithe, it's relevant, but when it comes to everything else, it's not relevant. So yeah, they want your money, but when it comes to everything else, it's done away with. But the tithe is not done away with. Not today's message, but something to think about. Okay, Deuteronomy 28, we'll get right into the reading. Now it shall come to pass that if you diligently obey the voice of Yahuwah to observe carefully all his commandments, which I command you today, that Yahuwah your Elohim, will set you high above all nations. Now, this is, of course, Moses conveying what Yahuwah had told him to his people, Israel. Okay? Saying that if you obey these commandments, yes, the commandments, yes, the 10 and everything else that he commanded us to do. If you obey these commandments, I will set you high above all nations. Now, let's think about a nation. When we think about a nation today, most of us, we may think about United States, Mexico, Canada, Russia, and loosely speaking, those are nations. But the true definition of the word nations, or from a biblical perspective, the definition of the word nation is a nationality. Okay? Is a nationality, is a people group / culture / bloodline. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we talk about nationality. We're talking about a certain demographic of people who generally come from descendants of a certain bloodline, who share common customs and traditions, and who also share a same language. Okay, a same actual language. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we talk about nation. Let's not get it confused with what a lot of us think, or what comes to mind today when we think about nations, okay? All right. So he's saying that I'm gonna set you high above all nations, all nations. So like it or not, whether I'm a part of it or not, whether you're a part of it or not, according to this book, Yahuwah, or God, Yahuwah has a chosen people that he designated to be above all nations, to be in his mind and his heart the apple of his eye, to be his bride. He has a group of people like that. Now, of course, just like with Joseph, loosely speaking, that'll cause some jealousy, that'll cause some rift, that'll cause other people to come against that particular nation. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, some people don't like not being liked, and then there's other people like me. I don't give a damn if you like me or not. I don't care. So it's you know, I mean, it's human nature to not like not being liked, or not like not being number one, or the apple, or put above all nations. Yet, according to this Bible, if you believe in this book, it tells us that Yahuwah felt that way about a particular group of people. I don't know. I know I'm not going to challenge him on that, whether I'm part of that group or not. It's irrelevant. But if you got a problem with it, you take it up with him. Since you got a problem with it, you know, that's his thing. That's his prerogative. He is the Most High. He is Almighty. So if you got a problem with how he feels about a group of people, that's between you and him, irregardless of who that group of people is. Going on to verse 2. And all these blessings shall come up on you and overtake you. Blessings shall overtake you because you obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim. Blessed shall you be in the city, blessed shall you be in the country. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, meaning your children, your offspring. The produce of your ground and the increase of your herds, the produce of your ground, your fruits and veggies, your crops will be blessed. The increase of your herds, the increase of your cattle, and the offspring of your flocks. Blessed shall be your basket and your kneading bowl. Blessed shall be you when you come in, and blessed shall be you when you go out. Yahuwah will cause your enemies to rise against you, will cause your enemies who rise against you to be defeated before your face. They shall come out against you one way and flee out before you 7 ways. Yahuwah will command the blessings on you in your storehouses and in all to what you set your hand. Everything you own, everything you put your hand on, he's going to cause the blessings. Okay? He'll command the blessing. He will bless you in the land which Yahuwah is giving you. So he was giving them a land at that time. He was giving them the land of Israel. He was giving them the land as promised to the forefathers. He was giving them the holy city, Jerusalem or Jerusalem. Okay? So he's telling them that that land will be blessed too. Blessed. So when we think of blessed, we think about prosperous. We think about prosperity. We think about having the Ruach spirit of Yahuwah upon one, or upon a thing, or upon something. Having a connection to the Most High, having a connection to Yahuwah. No sickness, no blight, no lack, and it's not just lack in a sense of material. It's lack first and foremost in a sense of the Ruach, in a sense of the presence of Yah, in a sense of the blessings and the bestowment of Yah upon you in a particular thing. Once again, even that doesn't mean first, foremost, and primarily material. It means that you're blessed because you have the mind of Yahuwah. You're blessed because you have the commandments of Yahuwah, or the Torah, or the law. Once again, the law is not a curse, it's a blessing. Being that you have the Torah, being that you have the law and the rules of Yahuwah, and they're in your heart, or in this time on stone, and you're living by them, don't you know that he created this life? He created this body. He should know what's best for it. He should know how you should go about living. He should know how you should go about operating. He should know what you should put in your body, what you should not. Therefore, you are blessed if you follow those laws, if you follow those rules. So, blessing is not just, or not first and foremost, material things that most of us have been conditioned to believe. Blessing is having Yahuwah, having the mind of Yahuwah, or mind like Yahuwah. Blessing is having the rules or the Torah, or the law of Yahuwah, having it in your heart and in your life and living according to it. That's the biggest blessing he ever gave us, was the Torah, was the law, was his commandments. That's the biggest blessing. Because in those we have life, and life more abundant. In those we have life and life ever after, life everlasting. Okay, moving right along. Verse 9, Yahuwah will establish you as a holy people to himself, just as he has sworn to you, if you keep the commandments of Yahuwah your Elohim and walk in his ways. He will establish you as a holy people. This people group we talking about, this mystery people group, or perhaps it's the people over there in the land right now. I don't know, we'll see. We'll just look at evidence, we'll look at the Bible, we'll look at present day evidence, and we'll see. Okay? If you keep the commandments, walk in his ways, he's promising to establish you as a holy people unto himself. Let's think about the word holy now. Remember, the word holy means what? Set apart. Set apart. Just as like the Sabbath day is holy and set apart, you're a people set apart unto him. Just like the Sabbath day, I wouldn't do anything I would do on the other 6 days. I wouldn't just freely do my will on the Sabbath that I would on, I got free will to per se the other 6 days to do as I please without violating the commandments, but to do as I please. But the 7th day is holy and set apart. So Yahuwah is telling us right here that his people also are holy and set apart. They are a holy and set apart nation, meaning they don't just do what they want to do. They don't just do what eeny, meeny, miny, mo, every other nation do and go. They don't do it. They're set apart. They live different. 2 Chainz. Nah, just kidding. Yeah, they're different, okay? They different. Yeah, they different. They different. They don't do the exact same things. Okay? So let's just, I'm just trying to paint a picture here. help you understand. To help you understand Israel, true Israel, knowing or not knowing, just coming into the truth, just learning who you are, or coming to see who you may be. So you gotta understand, you're not the same as the rest. You gotta do things different. You gotta move and operate different. This word is still alive here and today. It's still of effect. No matter what lies we've been taught, it's not done away with. Moving right along. Verse 10. Then all peoples of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of Yahuwah, and they shall be afraid of you. I know 99.99% of all Bibles has the word called by the name of the Lord. The Lord is not a name. We went over that in previous message. I hadn't seen them. Please take the time to go back and see them. But just touching on that for a quick minute, Lord is a title, and Lord is actually less than a king. We talked about that as well. Lord is less than a king. We're doing him a disrespect when we call him Lord. He's a king. Okay? Would you go to the chief of police in your city and call him officer? Would you go to the chief of the fire department and say, hey, fireman, hey, firefighter? He's not the firefighter. He's elevated from that. He's been promoted. He's earned the title of chief. He's over the firefighters. He's over the police officers. He's over the investigators. So why would you call someone who is king Lord? Why would you demote them? Would you call the president of the United States vice president? Would you call him second in command? No, I don't think so. Would you call the CEO of a company the treasurer of that company? Would you call him or her a worker? If there's technicians in that company, would you call the CEO of that company, hey, Mr. Joe Bob technician? Would you call him technician? No. You would call him by his appropriate title and his appropriate position. So if we have a king, we should be calling him king. If we have a most high, we should be calling him most high. If we have an Elohim, we should be calling him Elohim. Not some made up fictitious double, triple translated titles that actually degrade him, bring him down. So, number 10 again. Then all peoples of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of Yahuwah, and they shall be afraid of you. He has a name. It's not Lord, it's not God. Lord, God, like I said again before, God is just like saying truck. Well, is it Chevrolet, Ford, Dodge, Toyota, Nissan? What kind of truck is it? Nissan is a name. Truck is a title. Ford is a name. Truck is a title. Chevrolet is a name. Truck is a title. Yahuwah is a name. God is a title. You get the picture? So when you say God, anything could go into place right there. Satan, Hasatan could go right there. Tree can go right there. A goat, the water, the stars, whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want it to be, fill in the blank. In this case, when it's used in the Bible, unfortunately, especially in Western culture, I know this is off subject for today and a little too deep for a lot of y'all. In Western culture, that word right there is actually used in the place and represented by Hasatan, Satan. I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna believe that. I know you know. You gotta get below the surface. You gotta dig and really, really come out of the westernized mindset to really see who and what that means. You gotta come out of what you've been conditioned with since birth here in the West, most particularly the US of A. Okay, moving right along. Called by the name of Yahuwah, not Lord. We went over that. Went over that in that video. Go back and check it out. Basic Hebrew words. One of those words or the first one, Yahuwah. A couple of scriptures there, a couple of verses. You want to go back and reference those verses? There they are on the screen. Jot them down. Check it out. Yahuwah and his son Yahoshua. Verses again on there. Jot them down. Check it out. Check me out. Verify it. Okay? Yahushua continued. And of course, the Most High praise. Most High praise to the Most High. Hallelujah. Okay? Needless to mention, another video, or the video of my people who are called by my name, Jeremiah. Hezekiah. We can keep going. You get the picture. Okay? Benjamin, Nojay, Benjamin, Yah. The name is in there, Yah. His people had his name on them. His people were named after them and had a surname of Israel. Israel, by the way. So, what people group in this whole wide world do we know whose names were changed and other names were forced upon them? What people group? It is heavily evidenced throughout all history, all of the world. Everyone on this planet knows what people group whose names were changed and other names were forced upon them. Other names were beat upon them. Other names were murdered and killed upon them if they didn't take it. It's only one group of people that happened to. I wonder why. They had to get away with that name. Remember, I told you, a name follows a bloodline. Moving right along, not today's subject. Verse 11. And Yahuwah will grant you plenty of goods in the fruit of your body, in the increase of your livestock, in the produce of your ground, and in the land which Yahuwah swore to your fathers to give you. Yahuwah will open to you his good treasure, the heavens, to give you rain in your land and in its season. He's going to open heaven to give you rain in its season. Remember that. He did not say rain came from somewhere else. He said he's going to open heaven and give you rain. Open heaven, 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 and give you rain. I want you to remember heaven. I want you to remember rain. We're going to touch on it later, if I don't forget. Give you heaven, give you rain in your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. You shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. And Yahuwah will make you the head and not the tail. You shall be above only and not beneath. Means you're not going to be subservient. Means you're going to be the boss. Means you're going to be in charge. You'll be the lender and the head and not the borrower, okay? You'll be the lender and not the borrower. You shall lend to many nations. Mean that you're going to be the bank. You're going to be big bank, okay? That's what it's saying. As a nation of people, you're going to have all the money. Verse 13, and Yahuwah will make you the head and not the tail. You shall be above only and not beneath, if you heed the commandments, what an S, of Yahuwah your Elohim, which I command you today, and careful to observe them. Only if you follow in the commandments and take heed to them, he will make you the head, not the tail, lender to many nations, not the bar, blah, blah, on and on. So you shall not turn aside from any of the words which I command you to this day, to the right or to the left, nor go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if you do not obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to observe carefully all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you today, that all the curses will come upon you and overtake you. Curse, if you don't obey, curse is going to come upon you and overtake you. Curse shall you be in the city, curse shall you be in the country, curse shall you be your basket and your kneading bowl. Curse shall be the fruit of your body, your children, and the produce of your land, your harvest, your crops, and the increase of your cattle, the offspring of your flocks. Curse shall be you when you come in, curse shall be you when you go out. Yahuwah will send on you cursing, confusion, and rebuke in all that you set your hand to do, until you are destroyed, and until you perish quickly, because of wickedness in your doings which you have forsaken me. Remember a few videos ago I told you that the definition of evil and wicked is not what we think here. You know, I mean, we think, especially in the West, if a person goes out and murders 20, 30, 50 people, one person, whatever, they rape this amount of people, and they steal and do all kind of other illegal things, violent crimes, especially in our mind, especially here in the West, our mind, we think that's a wicked person. We think that's a wicked person. According to the Hebraic definition, which I covered in the video, a few videos back, the Hebraic definition of the word wicked is basically not keeping the commandments. Not keeping the commandments. So I know that's a little abrasive for a lot of us. Verse 20, it says it right there at the end. Because of the wickedness of your doing, in which you have forsaken me. Like in the previous verses right above this one, it said, if you keep my commandments, you will be blessed. Now we're getting into the curses, or as some people say, the curses in these verses. We're getting to the curses now. We're seeing what's going to happen if we don't keep these commandments. We're seeing what's going to happen if we practice wickedness. Wickedness is not keeping the commandments. Wickedness is not going out and murder so-and-so people, not going out and raping so-and-so people, not going out and stealing and doing whatever other lawlessness you want to practice. Lawlessness by terms of this world, worldly law, man's law. Lawlessness, according to Yahuwah, is not keeping his law, but the law been done away with, according to what most of us have been taught. What a big lie. It's not keeping his law is wicked, according to the Bible. Not according to Brother Yasin. Not according to Brother Yasin. That's not my word. It's not my law. It's not my rule book. You know, I'm just driving the truck, making the delivery. Don't get mad at me. I'm just here bringing the message on Yahuwah's behalf. That's it. That's it. Please don't get mad at me. And if you do, hey, I'm still good. You're not good. You mad. Don't get mad. Get glad. With glad, you know, you get the picture. So don't get mad. I'm here out of love. I'm telling you what he said. It's not my message. I'm just driving the truck. I drive the truck. I bring the letter. I bring the package. I bring the message. And that's it. I'm gone. It's not my message. It's his. I just work for him. I just work for him. That's it. That's it. That's all I do is work for him. Don't get mad at me. Love you. So, wickedness, according to Hebraic definition, is not keeping the law, as we kind of see here. You can go back and study that if you like. Yahuwah will make the plague cling to you until he has consumed you from the land which you are going to possess. Yahuwah will strike you with consumption, with fever, with inflammation, with severe burning fever, with the sword, with scorching, with mildew. They shall pursue you until you perish. Remember, a lot of things in Hebraic definition or Hebraic wording, of course it's been translated a few times, a lot of things are symbolic, okay? Not everything is actual literal, okay? So some of these words are something that we just read in the last verse or the last two verses, they're symbolic of basically you're gonna go through some tribulation. You're about to have some trouble due to disobedience, due to wickedness, and wickedness being not keep the commandments. So it didn't just say you, it said you and your generations. If we hadn't covered that yet, we're gonna cover that in a minute, where it says throughout your generations or generational. Okay, so it's not just for me here and now, it's for kids, grandkids, great grandkids. It's a lineage thing. He has a certain people, a certain nation, a certain nationality of people that he called unto himself, set apart and holy, that are to keep these laws, keep these rules, keep these commandments. And if you think or consider yourself part of that lineage, you need to think about this. And if you think you're not a part of that lineage, you need to think about this. Because he set those people here to be a light to the whole world, to show them how to live, to show them the truth, to bring them back to the truth. So irregardless of who the people are, whether it's the people that's over there bombing like some fools right now, or some people over here in the U.S., or it's people spread all about the world, whoever they are, you can tell who they are, because you can tell they're his and they're set apart unto him because they keep the commandments. They keep the commandments. They keep the feast days. Like I said, getting off subject about the mark, and the mark of the beast, and the mark of Yahuwah. If you didn't see that message, go back. If you forgot it or forgot about it, go back and get refreshed. Passover being the mark of Yahuwah. He's going to do it again. In Revelation time, there will be another Passover. Will you have the mark? This is what his people do. And he put his people here on earth, not just in one place. The scattering was not just by man. The scattering was not brought onto his people just by man. It's not haphazard. The scattering was not, his people didn't scatter themselves on their own. Yeah, they went to punishment and then got a scattering. But you got to understand, the same that was scattered, the same seeds that was scattered out and spread out so that all of the world could see them and see how they live and would draw nigh unto Yah through their example. They being the light of the earth and the salt of the earth. That's what a part of what the reasoning for the scattering. So that in the latter days, which we probably are in now, the latter days, remember, 1,000 years is as a day to Yahuwah, so I'm not getting no prediction type stuff. I'm just telling you the latter days. What we think is latter, I mean, what we think is a long time is not a long time to Yah. So in the latter days, he would have people in position and scattered about, posted out, posted up, outposted, spread abroad the world to be able to do the same with his word. Spread his word. Be an example. Be in the light. Verse 21. Yahuwah will make we read that one. I'm sorry. Verse 23. And your heavens, which are over your head, shall be bronze, and the earth which is under your feet shall be iron. Your heavens, which are above your head. Wow, you got an entitlement to the heavens. Did you know that? It's your heavens. He didn't say his heavens, your heavens. Got an entitlement to it if you claim it. If you live according to his teachings, his rules, his laws, it's your heavens. You got a right to it. You have an inheritance. Heavens over your head shall be bronze, and the earth which is under your feet shall be iron. Most of us are familiar with iron. It's a very hard metallic metal. It's a very hard metal. Okay? Semi-hard, just depending on what type of metal it is. Iron it is. Some of it's porous, some of it's not. Semi-porous, what have you. So the earth beneath your feet is going to be iron. It's going to have hardness beneath your feet. And that your heavens, which is supposed to be relief, which is supposed to be pleasure, which is supposed to be hope, which is supposed to be something to look forward to, is saying that it shall be bronze. It's saying that it shall be bronze. How many of you are familiar with bronze? That metal. I'm not talking about the Olympics. I'm talking about that Greek, you know what. I'm talking about bronze, the metal itself. Are you familiar with bronze and the properties of the metal bronze? I am, various reasons. Engines for one thing. Engines, performance parts in engines. In particular, bronze valve guide seats. being that I'm familiar with that, also in the oil field, which I spent most of my life, my adult life working in, industrial and oil field. But bronze in particular has quote unquote excellent or spectacular wear properties. That's the significance of bronze. It doesn't wear easy. That's one of the significance. It doesn't wear easy. So, hope you can see this. Check it out. A little bit of glare there. See if I can fix it where you can see it better. Yes, bronze has excellent wear properties. In other words, it doesn't wear out easy. So heaven is going to be turned into bronze, something that don't wear out easy, something that ain't going to have no feelings for you, something that you're not going to be able to wear down. You're not going to be able to get through to. Your heaven above you is going to turn into bronze. You're not going to be able to wear through to it. You're not going to be able to get through to heaven. Oh, God wouldn't do that. I don't know. His word says different. We better get out of this phony baloney pony of Yahuwah we've been taught and get into the real deal. Bronze, AI overview. A metal alloy primarily composed of copper, possesses a unique combination of properties that make it valuable for diverse applications. It is known for its high strength, corrosion resistance, and low friction, as well as its ability to expand slightly when solidified. Bronze, as I told you, is known for excellent wear properties. Doesn't wear out easy. Anytime something don't wear out easy, well, okay, well, you might say, well, I'm gonna keep working on my wife until she give in and let me buy that new truck. I'm just giving examples here. You wives, you might say, I'm gonna work on my husband and wear him down until he let me buy that new car. We agreed to buy that new car. What this book is telling you that your heavens above you is gonna be bronze and you won't be able to wear it down. Friction won't matter. Friction won't matter. You begging and crying out and pleading and protesting won't have no effect. Your heavens, that's sad, it's yours, but you can't get to it. It's yours, but you can't get through to it. It's yours, but it don't hear you. It's yours, but it won't give in to you. How is that? Bronze above you, iron below you. Verse 24. Yahuwah will change the rain of your land into powder and dust from heaven, and it shall come down to you until you are destroyed. We just talked about that previously in verse 12, when I said, I'm going to try to remember to tell you about the rain in your land in this season. Now he's saying he's going to change the rain of your land to powder and dust. The rain of your land into powder and dust. See, the fact of the matter is, he does have a people. He does have a chosen people. They do have a land. He was leading them to take possession of it. They did take possession of it. And then through disobedience, they lost it. Until this day, they still don't have it. They still don't have it. But that area and that region hasn't changed. That area and that region, that land is still known as the Holy Land. It's still known as Yahuwah's land. It's still known as where he will return when heaven comes back here. Heaven comes here, not us go to heaven. Heaven comes here. Heaven is going to come here. Heaven will come here. Not today's message, but there's no such thing as a rapture. You're not going to, that's not in here. You're not going to be magically scooped up and swooped up to the heavens. Heaven will come here. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth. The kingdom is coming back here. And the king of that kingdom is going to rule from Mount Zion in the holy city, Jerusalem, in the Holy Land. Back on subject for today, though. Verse 24. Will change the rain of your land to powder and dust. Change the rain of your land to powder and dust. Powder and dust. Powder and dust. Powder and dust. Is not the Holy Land today as we speak powder and dust? Mostly, vastly, powder and dust. That's the land. Hint, hint, that's not the people over there though, but that's the land. We'll prove it a little further today, and we'll prove it further in future messages. From the heaven it shall come down on you until you are destroyed, powder and dust. Yahuwah will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out one way against them, and shall flee 7 ways before them. And you shall become troublesome to all kingdoms of the earth. You'll become troublesome to all kingdoms of the earth. All kingdoms of the earth are going to look at you like you're an inconvenience. Like they don't want to be associated with you. Like you're less than. Troublesome. That's what troublesome means. A flat tire is troublesome. Who wants that? Nobody. A layoff is troublesome. Who wants that? Nobody. Sickness is troublesome. Who wants it? Nobody. It's telling you that you, his chosen people, above all nations, will become troublesome, and nobody's going to want to deal with you. Nobody going to want to have anything to do with you. Not like this, not on a lateral level. They're not going to want to be lateral or even with you, and they definitely ain't going to want to be below you. You're a troublesome people. You trouble. You got a bad image. You got a bad look. You got bad stereotypes about you. You're a group of people with a bunch of bad stereotypes. You read between the lines. I'm going to keep going. Verse 25, where we were. Yahuwah will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out one way against them and flee 7 ways. Right here, he's talking about the fall of Jerusalem. When Rome sacked Jerusalem, he's prophesied what was to come. When they sacked Jerusalem and took over the temple, your enemies will come in and you will flee out 7 ways from them. He's telling you what's going to happen. He's telling you what was going to happen in the future. And did it happen? Yes, it did. You were destroyed before your enemies. You were ran out of the city. And most of those people who were not killed and murdered on sight by Rome and Roman soldiers fled. They fled. Rome came from the northeast, and they fled in the opposite direction. Well, what would be the opposite direction of northeast? Southwest. Well, if you look at Israel and Jerusalem on a map, current or an ancient map, what's southwest of Jerusalem? Egypt, Africa. They fled into Africa. Yes, on foot. This was days, weeks, months. Your carcasses shall be food for all the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth, and no one shall frighten them away. Your carcasses. Your carcasses at that time and in the future. Your carcass is going to be left to be eaten by the animals. That happened over there, and it happened more recent history right here, in particular in the United States. I think most of y'all get the picture. Yahuwah will strike you with bars of Egypt, with tumors, with the scab, with the itch from which cannot be healed. It says Yahuwah will strike you with the bars of Egypt. Now, we're in the book of Deuteronomy. Prior to that, you got Numbers, Leviticus, and prior to that, you got Exodus. We had already exited Egypt. Exodus. We left, he brought us out of Egypt under the Pharaoh of that time. Caused Moses to lead us out, caused Moses to go before Pharaoh and demand that we be released. And now he's saying, Yahuwah will strike you with the balls of Egypt. Those same torments that you had in Egypt, he's going to strike you with them again. The same slavery that you had in Egypt, he's going to strike you with it again. That's kind of what he's saying here, symbolically. What you went through in Egypt, you're going to go through it again. Egypt is a reference to a bad place and a bad time for the people of Yahuwah. It's looked at as a bad place, bad time, bad exposure, bad situations. Enslaved, in captivity, and everything that came with it for Yahuwah's people. So it's used as a reference. Egypt is used as a reference. If you were these people and you heard Egypt, you automatically thought bad. If you're these people today and you know you're these people, you should automatically associate Egypt with captivity. Didn't we just deal with that a few months ago? Didn't we just deal with that in the month of Aviv, if I'm saying it correctly? Please forgive me if I'm wrong. Abib, I'm sorry, Abib, okay? Didn't we just deal with that in the Passover? That's the significance of the Passover. Reminding you that he saved you, or your ancestors in particular. Reminding you that he saved you from slavery. He brought you out of slavery in Egypt. Do you want to go back? Disobedience is what put you there. So while we may not be talking about the actual physical Egypt location, proximity, we may not be talking about exactly location. We're talking about situation. He brought you out of a situation that involves slavery. He brought you out of a slavery that involved being in a very uncomfortable place. Moving right along. So get that in your mind, that Egypt is a reference, a place of reference of bad. Don't touch that, bad. The Lord will strike you with the balls of Egypt, the tumors with the scab, and with the itch from which cannot be healed. Yahuwah will strike you with madness and blindness and confusion of heart. Remember, your heart is your mind. And I'm talking about the muscle in your chest. Your heart is your mind, your thoughts, your passions, your desires, your wishes, your will. And you shall grope at noon as the blind man gropes in the darkness, and you shall not prosper in your ways. You shall only be oppressed and plundered continually, and no one shall save you. You will only be depressed and plundered continually, and no one shall save you. I don't see any smiles on that picture. Normally when you smile, when you take a picture, you smile. Is that what we do? Cheese. Ain't no cheesing. And there's no cheese, and there's nothing to cheese about. It's not a cheesy moment. Like the word said, you shall not be prosper, you shall only be oppressed and plundered continually. These people are oppressed. These folk are oppressed. Look at their face. They can't go where they want when they want. They can't stop work when they want. They can't take off when they want. They're picking a crop that's not theirs. They're planting and harvesting a crop that's not theirs. And they're not getting any cash off of it. They're not receiving the rewards of their labor. They're being plundered. Free labor is plunder. Slavery, it's plunder. That's the picture of being plundered. That's a people who were plundered. And I think we all know what that was. You shall betroth a wife, but another man shall lie with her. You shall build a house, but you shall not dwell in it. You shall plant a vineyard, but shall not gather its grape. Plant a vineyard and not gather its grape. Plant cotton and not gather its cotton. Plant tobacco and not gather it, not for yourself. Sugar cane and it ain't yours. You're not gonna sell it. You're not gonna live off of it. And you better not eat none of it unauthorized. Okay? You shall build a house and not dwell in it. We all know what happened about a month and a half ago down here in Louisiana. Not a way. And it's a lot of ways around here, like not a way around here. It's some right here in the city I live in the parish, county I live in. It's some right here. It's plenty of them around here, alive and well. That wasn't only bed and breakfast. It's plenty of them. Most of them that's still standing got turned into bread and breakfast. It's plenty of them around here. Okay? The slaves built those houses. The slaves through forced labor, just like they were forced labor to do everything else, the slaves here in the States, quote unquote black slave, quote unquote brown people, quote unquote African American, were forced to build those houses. Elegant, extravagant houses. You got to understand, plantations and plantation owners per se in that time were probably, loosely speaking, were probably the equivalent of a Jeff Bezos. Were plantation owners during that time, wealth and status, were probably the equivalent of an Elon Musk, were probably the equivalent of a Bill Gates, a Donald Trump. Wealth-wise, status-wise, these people back in their time had some change. They had cheese, they had cheddar, they had guac. You gotta get that. You gotta get that in your head. These people were filthy rich off of free labor. Once again, like I told you in the beginning, my disclaimer, this is not to invoke feelings of hate. This is not to invoke feelings of anger. This is to help some of us wake up and get the idea of what really happened, what really went on, and who it was really done to. Yahuwah's chosen people, the apple of his eye. Moving right along. Verse 30, first line, you shall betroth a wife, but another man shall lay with her. We all know Massa did a lot of creeping. There's evidence in a lot of skin tones nowadays. When Massa came to his quarters to get his wife, wasn't a damn thing he could do about it. Verse 30. You shall betroth a wife, but another man shall lie with her. When Massa came creeping late at night to his shack with his family and wanted his missus, couldn't do nothing about it. He could do something about it, but he probably wouldn't live. Probably wouldn't live. So verse 30. You shall betroth a wife, but another man shall lay with her. Your ox, verse 31, your ox shall be slaughtered before your eyes, but you shall not eat of it. Your donkey shall be violently taken away from before you, and you shall not be restored. It shall not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, and you shall have no one to rescue them. Your sons and daughters shall be given to another people, and your eyes shall look failing with longing for them all day long, and there should be no strength in your hand. Your children gonna be took from you, and you're gonna look at the horizon, hoping one day you would see them again, hoping one day they would reappear. Nothing but anguish in your heart. Never happen. You never see them again. Your children, verse 32, your daughters, your sons and your daughters shall be taken from you, given to another people. Is that not what happened? Fair use on all these pictures. Is that not what happened? Is that not clearly documented throughout all of world history? Does not every nation in the world know what happened to one particular nationality of people, one demographic of people? Look at her begging not to take her child, not to take her child from her, or she to be taken from her child. Either way, did it not happen to a particular demographic? Then they even got nerve to sit here and draw a sketch of it. A nation whom you have not known shall eat the fruit of your labor, fruit of your land and the produce of your labor, and you shall only be oppressed and crushed continually. Oppressed, crushed continually. We recently saw, about 5 years ago, saw a picture of being crushed. A symbolic reminder of being crushed. We recently had that fair use, but we think it's haphazard. We think that's just happenstance. We think it's just another incident in the big scheme of everything in the world. This world and the demonic people who run it rely highly on symbolism, rely highly on imagery. Being crushed, kept down, oppressed. Nobody films a situation like that in public today, or sit and allow themselves to be filmed and continue to do that with all kind of cameras around, unless they want it to be seen, unless they want it to go out as a reminder, unless they're doing it as a ritual, unless they're doing it as a symbolic display. Moving right along. You shall be driven mad because of the sight which your eyes see. Yahuwah will strike you in the knees and the legs as severe bars that cannot be healed. It shall be from the sole of your foot to the top of your head. Yahuwah will bring you and the king whom you set over the nation, which neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other gods. Right here, he's referring to the book of Jeremiah, when King Zedekiah reinstated slavery in Israel, Israelite among Israelite, Israelite over Israelite, an Israelite in servitude to another Israelite. And Jeremiah warned him about doing it, warned him about not doing it, warned him to stop doing it, however the story goes. And he continued to do it. So his punishment was being brought into captivity himself. Okay? There you shall serve other gods of wood and stone. Shall serve other gods of wood and stone. We got to understand that this particular group of people, for sake of carrying on my storyline today, this particular unknown group of people, they didn't play this wood and stone type God type stuff. Their Elohim was an Elohim of spirit, of Ruach only. According to the 10 Commandments, the first commandment of the 10 Commandments. They did not play no bullcorn about any physical thing, person, place, or being, image, or nothing. They didn't play with that. They didn't play with that. If they didn't do it then, and if you these same people are not these same people, but you're supposed to follow this particular group of people, then why would you? Why would you play with images of wood and stone, other gods of wood and stone? Oh, I don't, Brother Yasin. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't? Because I tell you what, a lot of people do. A lot of people do, and they're in denial. Oh, well, I'm not praying to them, I'm praying through them. That's not what he told us to do. You better go back and check out, it's on there for you. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1 through 5. Look at that. Hope you can see it well. You see this lady down here? At the feet, reaching out and touching. When you bow down, prostrate yourself, your body, to another person, place, or thing, that's worship. When you elevate a person, place, or thing, figuratively or literally, you take a statue and you elevate it up high on a platform to where you're down below it and you're looking up to it. It's a form of worship. Look at this statue. Serve other gods of wood and stone, whether that's wood, whether that's stone, whether it's carbon fiber, whether it's plexiglass, whether it's fiberglass, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. There we go. It's a reminder, Exodus 21 through 5. Go read that verse slow with understanding. Here we go. On the floor, on our knees, prostrating to a statue, bringing ourselves down before a statue. That fella there, he's transitioned now. Same thing. Other gods are wood and stone. Wood, stone, fiberglass, carbon fiber, whatever you want it to be. Aluminum, it's the same thing. Verse 37, and you shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword amongst nations. You become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword because people are going to look at you and they're going to say, isn't this the people of the Most High God? Isn't this the people that were the apple of his eye? Isn't this the people who were the light and the salt of the earth? Isn't this the people who are multi-talented, multi-gifted, multifaceted, physically, mentally, emotionally, musically, athletically, on and on and on? Isn't these them people? How are they beneath? How are they so destroyed? How are they so far away from being on top? Why are they on bottom? Why are they looked at as the least in society by most modern society? Why? That's an astonishment. And when you know somebody was a kid of a king and now they eating out the slop with the pig, prodigal children, prodigal son, they getting less. Children of the Most High, but they eating among swine. They eating slop. They working slop. They bottom of the barrel. Bottom of the barrel. In every socio-economic platform or situation that you look at. Yeah, some of them doing good and some of them on top, but vast majority, bottom of the barrel. Vast stigma, bottom of the barrel. Vast concept, bottom of the barrel. vast, what's the other word I'm looking for? Stereotype, bottom of the barrel. Less than. Let's think about what group of people that is. An astonishment and a byword. You shall carry much seed out to the field and gather little. Little in, for the locust shall consume it. Once again, locust. Locust in this case may not actually be the bug. Locust in this case may be actual people or people groups or particular people groups who are always looking for a come up. Particular people groups, if we think a little bit, who are capitalistic. Particular people groups who are always looking at making a dollar. Particular people groups who are always making a dollar if it means I employ you and I pay you $10 an hour while I'm for your labor and your time, while I'm getting paid $110 an hour off of your labor and off of your time. I give you 10, I keep 100. I'm capitalistic. I'm eating you up like a locust. You're consumed. You're going home every day. Feet dragging, tired. Not enough time to do nothing but eat, bathe, sleep, do it again. That's most corporations in the world. That's most corporations in America. And we know who own, run, and control most corporations of the world, most corporations in America. That's the picture of a locust, eating it all up. Chewing up all the leaves, leaving nothing behind, no scrap. They're consuming you or a group of people like locusts. They did it before without a paycheck. They did it before in servitude. They did it before in slavery. They doing it now. It just took a different form. They just give you a paycheck with it, and then they tax you 30% of it too. Same thing. You shall plant, verse 39, you shall plant vineyards and tend them, but you shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat it. You shall have olive trees throughout your territory, but you shall not anoint yourself with the oil, for the olives shall drop off. You shall beget sons and daughters, and they shall not be yours, for they shall go into captivity. Remember this pick. You have no say over your children. They're not yours. They belong to Massa Johnson, Massa Smith, Massa Thomas. If Massa Thomas decide to sell your child to Massa Johnson, you have no say. They shall go into captivity. You shall beget sons and daughters, and they shall not be yours, for they shall go into captivity. Child, 2, 3, 4 years old, they shall go into captivity. Locusts shall consume all your trees and the produce of your land. The alien who is among you shall rise higher above you, and you shall come down lower and lower. Sounds like the picture in America. Sounds like the picture in America. At least until now. At least until right now, June of 2025, June the 7th of 2025. We've been getting, a lot of things have been happening in the last 4 to 6 months. A lot of things have been happening. But it doesn't change the fact that prior to the last 4 to 6 months, the picture has been, in America in particular, foreigners come in, they get all kind of aid, they get all kind of loans, they prosper, they build businesses, they open stores, they set up stores in particular neighborhoods, wink, wink. They set up liquor stores in particular neighborhoods, gas stations. Hey, I'm not discriminating. Hey, more power to you. Nothing but love. I'm telling the truth so that the sons and daughters of Yahuwah, the sons and daughters of Abraham, the sons and daughters of the slave trade here in America can wake up to what's really real, to who you really are, to what they don't want you to know, why they want you to disregard the Old Testament, who you really are, and therefore what you should sequester yourself back to doing, which is keeping the commandments. The alien who is among you shall rise higher and higher above you, and you shall come down lower and lower. While the aliens, legal and illegal, mainly the legal aliens, why the legal aliens for the past 50 plus years have come into America, done what they wanted to do, set their family up generation after generation, cousin after cousin, got on their feet, become billionaires in most cases, and your status has not changed. Your status Israel, your status Hebrew has not changed. Wake up to your identity and submit yourself to Yahuwah. He shall, verse 44, he shall lend to you, but you shall not lend to him. He shall be the head, but you shall be the tail. You're going to keep going to that corner store, buying a 40, buying your cigarette, buying your Black and Mild, and he profiting off of it, and you're not. You're going to keep letting your children go down there and get a popsicle, and a lollipop, and a soda pop, and an ice cream. And he gonna keep profiting off of it, and you not. And nothing gonna change. Because even if you stop, all the other children on the block gonna go down there anyway. Go down there and get your gas. Fill up your car, your truck with gas. Go down there and get your little bottle on the weekend. Go get your hen dog. You gonna keep doing all that. With the alien, I didn't say it. Your Bible said, go pick it up and open it and look and see if I'm lying to you. The alien, the person that's not from here, is going to be over you. Is going to do better than you. Is going to prosper. Is going to advance. The alien who's not from here, not born here, is going to do better than you who was born here. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon you and pursue you and overtake you until you are destroyed. Destroyed don't necessarily mean in the grave, but you can be destroyed in a lot of ways. Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. Because you did not obey the voice of Yahuwah, your Elohim, to keep his commandments, the statutes which he commanded you. And they shall come upon you for a sign and a wonder, and on your descendants forever. So he's telling the people of Israel, the Hebrews, back then at that time, that this is going to happen to you, it's going to be upon you for a sign and a wonder. A wonder. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder what happened to them. Oh, I wonder if they know who they are. Oh, I wonder if they'll ever wake up one day. I wonder if they'll ever turn back to their Elohim. I wonder how it feels to have been on the top. I wonder how it feels to be his chosen, most talented, most gifted on this planet. And you at the bottom. I wonder. They're a wonder. That's what a wonder is. You wonder. You think about it. I wonder why. I'm confused. How? That's what a wonder is. A sign and a wonder. And on your descendants forever. Forever. This book was, quote unquote, loosely speaking, composed and made up, or started being composed and made up, or is comprised of stories and history from over 2,000 years ago. from over 2,000 years ago. That's a long time. Ain't 20 minutes. 2,000 years ago. And verse 46 say, and on your descendants forever. So 2,000 years is a long time, but it still ain't longer than forever. So that's why it's still going on today. That's why you still see it today. That's why this certain group of people still a sign and a wonder today. Verse 47, because you did not serve Yahuwah, your Elohim, with joy and gladness of heart, for the abundance of everything. Therefore you shall serve your enemies. You shall serve your enemies. Sounds like slavery to me. Whom Yahuwah will send against you. Yahuwah gonna send an enemy against me, who I will serve. Not Brother Yasin. Verse 48, book of Deuteronomy. That's who's saying that. Verse 48, Deuteronomy 28 says, therefore you shall serve your enemies, in whom Yahuwah will send against you, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, in need of everything. You're going to serve them in hunger and in thirst. Be thirsty as you want. You better keep picking that cotton. I don't see no water cooler. I don't see no Kentwood out there. I don't see no igloo coolers. I don't see any Gatorade. I don't see no Powerade. In hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, in need of everything, including shoes on your feet. And he, the enemy, and he, your enemy, according to this book, and he, your enemy, according to this book. Now, let's get this straight. Y'all said it's your enemy. He also told us to love our enemy. That don't mean go love on him or her, whatever. It means that you are not supposed to take up arms or take up attitude or take up anger and hatred towards your enemy. It means you're not supposed to stand on the street corner and talk down to them. That's what it means. It means you're not supposed to just spew hate toward them. It means you're not supposed to have hatred in your heart toward them. And Brother Yasin does it. I'm covering this so that Israel can wake up, to help you wake up. Don't you get mad over these pictures I'm showing you. It hurts everybody. It hurts you, it hurt me, it hurt even non-Israel, some of them. It hurts even the Gentile, some of them. It hurts some of the companions of Israel. But that's not the point here. The point is to help you come out of the stupor and the drunkenness that we all have been mesmerized with, hypnotized with, synchronized with. That's what it's for. I do not preach hate. I do not teach hate. I teach truth. I teach history. I teach current events. I teach Bible. I teach things that were prophesied, things that came to pass in the past, and things that we see now coming to pass that were prophesied from here. Recent and not so recent. Ancient and recent. That's what I preach. And that's what we're preaching here. He prophesied that you were going to fall under the hands of the enemy, and it happened. It did. It did that. Yep. That happened. That went down. Sure did. Sure did. So if you fall in that demographic, oh, that's me. Yeah, time to wake up. You're his chosen people. You're his set apart people. You're to keep his commandments. All of his commandments. Yeah, once again, oh, that's me. We them people, we them people. I hear that a lot. We them people, we them people. That's not the end of the story. We them people means we gotta keep them commandments. We them people means that you are endowed and indentured to Yahuwah. We them people mean you better get on the good foot. We them people means to turn away from the ways of your captor in the land of your captivity and follow the ways of Yahuwah. and follow what he told your ancestors to do. We them people ain't gonna get you in the kingdom. Keeping the commandments gonna get you in the kingdom. Straddling the fence between Christianity and what Yahuwah said to do ain't gonna get you in the kingdom. Blending religions ain't gonna get you in the kingdom. Either you're gonna live by the law or you're gonna transgress the law. It's no in between. There's no middle state. I'm sorry, it's what it is. It's no limbo. It's no middle party. Cause you to hunger and thirst, verse 48, need, nakedness. And he, your enemy, that's where we were. He meaning your enemy, will put a yoke of iron around your neck until he has destroyed you. He will put a yoke of iron. That's another figurative, another figure of speech, another illustration of what he's gonna do to you. Okay? A yoke of iron around your neck. Now, that's not to say that he won't actually physically do this, but especially if you got a bad dog, especially if you got a bad dog, what you do with him? You keep him on a leash, right? You keep him on a chain, right? Where do you put that chain at? On his wrist, on his foot, or on his neck? You put it on his neck. Pressure point, a point of control. Predatory animals. Most predatory animals don't attack at the ankle. They don't attack at the hip. They don't attack at the wrist. They don't attack at the rib cage. Most predatory animals attack at the neck. They go for the neck. They know that they can bring that prey down, even if it's 5 or 10 times its size, they can bring that prey down if they go for the neck. They know the neck is a point of leverage and a point of control. Again, just a reminder. They know that the neck is a point of leverage and control. You can have the biggest, baddest dog in the world. Put a choke collar on him, and when he get out of line, she get out of line, and see what happens. It's telling you your enemy gonna do the same thing to you, treat you like an animal. And put a yoke of iron around your neck until he has destroyed you. That's figurative and that's literal, because it's happened both. It's still happening figuratively. There's still a yoke of iron around this particular group of people, Yah's chosen people. Neck is still a yoke of iron today. Figuratively speaking. But there was a time when it actually happened. When this particular group of people, in some cases, actually had a yoke of iron around their neck. Look at this brother. Look at this ancestor. A yoke of iron around his neck. Limiting motion, limiting interaction, limiting escape. He don't just have iron around his neck. Look at his legs there. He got leg iron on. A straight rod running down his leg that is secured to his thigh and secured at his ankle, thus preventing him from bending his knee, thus preventing him from running away or walking fast. Got iron on his leg, he got iron on his neck. Yoke of iron around his neck. Iron on the neck, iron on the leg, iron rod, iron bar, from the thigh, going across the knee, down to the ankle. Once again, preventing the flexion and extension of the knee. Preventing walking fast or running. You ain't gonna get too far walking stiff-kneed, no. Not too far, not too fast. Needless to mention all of the chains we see there at his feet. He didn't put him there so he could jump and soar like Mike. They didn't put iron on him so he could jump man. He put it so he could stay down. So he could be under control, under submission, until he is destroyed. Verse 49, Yahuwah will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies. As swift as the eagle flies. Here we go again, that old dollar. That old dollar. And the mascot, the eagle. Many more stories in that dollar, but we're going to keep moving today. Swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose language you do not understand. Slaves in America did not speak English. Not originally. They had to learn this language. It was forced on them. That's why many times and most times, and still, maybe still a little touch here and there, a little bit of broken English. Because the English was learned the best we could, and in some cases, when learned the best we could, it was still broken, or we spoke it, especially one to another, the best we could in broken form, and that just became a dialect. It became a dialect. It became a part of the culture. And in some instances, it still exists today. Moving along. A language you do not understand is not our first language. Not ancestrally speaking. Not speaking as a nation, as a nationality. English is not our language. English is not your language, Hebrew. Hebrew is your language, Hebrew. A nation of fierce countenance, verse 50, which does not respect the elderly, nor show favor to the young. Does not respect the elderly, the old people, nor show favor to the young. Don't care, young, old, you're going to get this. Look at Paw there. Doesn't matter if you're young or old, you're going to work. You're going to do what I say. You're going to pick this cotton. Remember our little baby, our little sister, our little cousin on the other slide here? Should be somewhere playing with a truck or a spinning top or a doll or something of that nature. But we're being forced to pick cotton. No respect. A nation of fierce countenance, verse 50, which does not respect the elderly, nor show favor to the young. I don't care who you are, you're going to pick it. And they shall eat in the increase of your livestock and the produce of your land until you are destroyed. They shall not leave you grain, nor wine, nor oil, increase of your cattle, or offspring of your flocks until they have destroyed you. They shall besiege you at all of your gates until your high fortress walls in which you trust come down throughout all of your land. They shall besiege you at all of your gates throughout all of your land, which Yahuwah your Elohim has given you. He gave you Jerusalem. He gave you Israel. You had a fortified city with walls, with gates. And he prophesied and told you, if you do not obey me, they're going to destroy all of that. The sacking of Jerusalem by Rome. That's what happened. Verse 53, you shall eat the fruit of your own body, the flesh of your own sons and daughters, whom Yahuwah your Elohim has given you, in the siege and desperate straits in which your enemy shall distress you. Once again, he's speaking of the siege of Jerusalem. He's saying in the middle of this siege, you're going to be so desperate. It's going to be so jacked up. You're going to be eating your own children. You're going to be hiding, fleeing, trying to survive. You're going to be so desperate. You're going to be eating the flesh of your own sons and daughters. That's a sad, sad thing. The sensitive and very refined man among you will be hostile toward his brother, the wife of his bosom, and toward the rest of his children, whom he leaves behind, so that he will not give any of them the flesh of his children, whom he will eat, because he has nothing left in the siege. And the desperate straits in which your enemy shall distress you at your gates. It's telling you, your enemy gonna come. If you don't obey these commandments, your enemy is gonna come and they're gonna bring the pain right there in Jerusalem. You're gonna lose it all. Times are gonna be so desperate. You're gonna be willing to consume flesh of your flesh, your offspring. The tender and the delicate woman among you would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground because of her delicateness and sensitivity, will refuse to her husband of her bosom and to the son and her daughter her placenta, which comes out of her, out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears, for she will eat them secretly for lack of everything in the siege and desperate straits, in which your enemy shall distress you at all your gates. For she will eat them secretly. The placenta which comes out of her from between her feet, and the children whom she bare. She's not just going to eat the placenta. She's going to have a baby in the middle of this siege. She's going to eat the placenta, and she's going to eat the child. That's how desperate and brutal this siege is going to be. If you do not carefully observe these words of the law, which are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and awesome name. Lord is not a name. Yahuwah your Elohim. Then Yahuwah will bring upon you and your descendants extraordinary plagues, and great prolonged plagues, and serious prolonged sickness. Moreover, he will bring back on you all the diseases of Egypt, on which you were afraid, and they shall cling to you. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law will the Lord bring upon you until you are destroyed. Diseases that were never heard of back then. Was no cancer back then, per se, known to man. Was no diabetes back then. Wasn't no high blood pressure, this, that, and the other. Oh. We'll keep going. You shall be left few in number, whereas you are as the stars of the heaven in the multitude, because you would not obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim. Just like he promised to Abraham, they would be as the stars. Too many to count. But he's saying that you will be reduced, so few in number. You will be reduced in comparison and contrast to being as plentiful as the stars of heaven and the sands of the shores. Okay? You will be reduced to that much. He was prophesying what was going to happen. And it shall be that just as Yahuwah rejoiced over you to do good and multiply you, so Yahuwah will rejoice over you to destroy you. It's telling you, Yahuwah, God, Elohim, the Most High, he's going to, just like he rejoiced to multiply you, he's going to rejoice to reduce you. This ain't no cotton candy Cracker Jack Yahuwah Elohim God we deal with. Contrary to what we've been taught, he don't play. New covenant, old covenant, he don't play. New Testament, Old Testament, he don't play. He kills. He has a pedigree in it. If you don't do what the king say, the king has the right to do what? Kill you. Understand who we dealing with. Oh, God wouldn't do that. He wouldn't kill us. He said, thou shalt not kill. Lie. Another lie we've been taught. He said, thou shalt not murder. That's taking an innocent life. Two different things, not today's message. We've mentioned them before. Thou shalt not murder. But he will kill you. He did it to many people in here. And it shall be, just as Yahuwah your Elohim rejoice to do good and multiply you, so Yahuwah will rejoice to destroy you and bring you to nothing. And you shall be plucked from off the land which you go to possess. You shall be plucked from off of the land which you go to possess. You're not going to be there no more. He's going to take you off of the land that you go to possess. Now, as long as you were there, the land was fruitful. The land was beautiful. The land was lush, green. It was also known as the Fertile Crescent. Fertile means fruitful. Fertile means full of life. Does that look full of life? Does that look fruitful? Does it look green and lush? No. Because the people who's supposed to be there, the people who Elohim gave that to, they're not there. And until they come back, it's going to continue to look like a desert. The heavens are still hard against that land. And the rain is still locked up against that land. And until his kingdom comes, he reigns, and he put the proper people back in that land who are supposed to be there, then that land will be restored. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, turn from their wicked ways, then I shall hear their cry, and I shall heal their land. I covered that a few messages back. Check it out. Check it out in your Bible. I'm paraphrasing that script. Don't hold me to the cross. I will heal their land. That's a desert land. That's not a hill land. Okay? That's a land in destitute right now. No crops there. No natural life there. It's not fertile. Not fertile soil. Verse 64. Then Yahuwah will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other. There you shall serve other gods. There you shall serve other gods. There you shall serve other gods, which you have never known, nor your fathers have known, of wood and stone, of plastic and carbon fiber, of fiberglass and aluminum, of gold, golden calves, of gold and of platinum. No matter what the material is, it ain't gonna be me. I'm spirit only. I'm spirit only, says Yahuwah. So that's not me. That has nothing to do with me. I told you not to even make this. Why are you making it? Why are you bowing down to it? 64 again. Then Yahuwah will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other, and there you shall serve other gods, which you neither your fathers have known, wood and stone. Keep serving and worshiping stone and wood and plastic and carbon fiber and whatever, aluminum, platinum, gold. Keep on. Particle board, keep doing it. And among those nations you shall find no rest, nor shall the sole of your foot have a resting place. But there Yahuwah will give you a trembling heart, failing eyes, and an anguishing soul. Trembling heart, anguishing eyes, failing eyes, and an anguishing soul. Anguish. That's all you're going to know. Your life shall hang in doubt before you. You shall fear day and night. You shall have no assurance of life. In the morning you shall say, oh, that it were evening. And in the evening you will say, oh, that it were morning. Because of the fear that terrifies your heart, because of the sight of what your eyes see. You're going to see such horrific things 24/7, 365. You're just going to be in anguish all the time. You're going to see so many of your brothers and sisters murdered for no reason. You're just going to be in anguish most of the time. You're going to wonder, will I be next? You're going to wonder, will it be my son or daughter next? You're going to wonder, how long before they get me? "66, your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear day and night that you have no assurance of life." No assurance of life. Because they can come grab me and murder me anytime they want. Reason or no reason. No assurance of life. I can't stop them. Nobody can stop them. When the lynch mob come, somebody gotta go. "67, in the morning you shall say, oh, that it were evening. And in the evening you shall say, oh, that it were morning. Because of your fear that terrifies your heart, and because of the sight which your eyes see. And Yahuwah will take you back to Egypt in ships by the way of the land, by the way of which I said, you shall never see it again. And there you shall be offered for sale to your enemies, male and female slaves, and no one will buy you." No one meaning no one that's on your side will buy you. No one that is willing to help you will buy you. You'll be bought, but you'll be bought for perpetual slavery. You'll be bought from one slave owner master to another, sold over and over, and your generations, throughout your generations. You'll be bought, but you won't be bought by anyone who's going to free you, save you, redeem you from the hell that you're in. And that's just how it went down. Round 2 of slavery. Egypt part 2. Egypt part 2. Remember that? A month or so ago I showed you? It's not on there by coincidence. They fashioned this place, United States, off of Egypt. Egypt part 2. Built on slavery. Economy built on slavery. Riches, wealth built on slavery. Pharaoh, Moses, on and on and on. Took the same blueprint, did it here. Same blueprint. Used it here. Same blueprint. Hint, hint. Some of y'all might get that if y'all traveling. I once was a traveler. Whole nother subject for another day. Yeah, you traveling men might get that. They took the same blueprint. Your George Washingtons and your Thomas Jeffersons. They were travelers too. Took the same blueprint, used it here. They built a country, nation, off of the backs of slaves, off of the backs of the sons and daughters of Yahuwah. verse 68 will take you back to Egypt in ships. Remember? A little bit earlier when I read, and it referenced verse 60, moreover, he will bring back on you all the diseases of Egypt, of which you were afraid, and they shall cling to you. He will bring back the diseases of Egypt. Okay? Egypt, remember, is a bad place. Egypt, remember, is a bad thing. Bad things happen in Egypt, by far and large, for the most, to the Israelites, to the Hebrew nation, to Yahuwah's chosen people. Bad things happen. Primarily captivity, primarily slavery, and everything that came along with slavery. All of the brutalities that came along with slavery, all of the inconveniences that came along with slavery happened to them there. So Egypt is symbolic of a bad time and a bad place. And he's saying here in verse 68, I'm going to bring you back to Egypt this way by ship. I'm going to bring you back to a bad time, a bad place, a bad situation, a bad situationship. Bring you back to that. I'm bringing you by ship. Well, didn't need no ships to go from Israel today or even back then to Egypt. That's all dry land. No ships needed. The ships he talking about, them slave ships. Them slave ships that left from primarily Europe being Britain, Italy,